Tech for Senior, episode 58. It is May the 3rd, 2021. Welcome everyone to another great show. I see we have just 100 in the waiting room, or 100 online with the Zoom, and so it's going to be a fun time. Welcome to all those over on our streaming service on YouTube. Thanks for coming. The services are a little bit different, we are streaming the show. There's two avenues to the show. The first is, of course, our Zoom meeting today, and this will go along for about an hour, and we will have a number of pre-recorded segments for you, and then the question and answer will start at 10 o'clock or top of the hour, and we will have about 20-minute Q&A. For those of you over on the Zoom side, the show will go on for about 50 minutes, and just prior to the music segment with Ray, we'll be stopping the live section on YouTube. Now, for those of you who wonder whatever happens to these episodes, well, we tape them all, and you can actually go back and watch all our prior shows. So we wanted to thank everyone for coming today. It is your enthusiasm and your keenness that keeps us all going and keeps us producing shows for you. It was a year ago. I just wanted to let you know that on episode 6, that was May the 4th, 2020. On episode 6 that we had our show. So if you wanted to go back and look at that show, I looked at it this morning, and of course Bob did his security update, and I did an interesting video. I made a look. It was called Facebook to Photos in a Flash, and this is a service that Facebook had just started on moving your photos from Facebook to Google Photos. This actually has expanded, and is now you can put your posts and a lot more services from Facebook over onto your Google Drive or other accounts. You may want to look at that again and say, okay, this might be something that you're interested in doing. Hewie, do you remember what you talked about on May the 6th?
I remember explicitly. Tell me.
You talked about something that was really interesting. It was pixelate. You talked about pixelating an online pictures, and I thought that was I'd forgotten all about that because I'm going to use that anyway. It was a great talk, and you talked on online pixelation, so you can take your pictures and blur the background or blur segments there. So that was sort of interesting. So if you want to go back and look at our recorded segment, it is episode 6 on May the 4th. All right, let's welcome everyone to the show. Let's welcome our presenters today and my co-host Hewie. How the heck did your week go?
Last week went pretty smoothly. This week I've got a busy week.
Yeah.
I've got this presentation. I have one on Wednesday, another one on Thursday. Wednesday night we have our STUG meeting, and I do the intro for it. On Thursday we also do the Tech for Senior Live, and then Sunday is my Windows SIG.
You have a busy week.
Yes, going to be very busy.
And of course, you know that, remember everyone that, of course, for Tech for Senior Live on Thursday, Jolyn Bowler is going to be our guest on, and she is the techies, I guess the seniors techie. How will we describe her? She's the tech of all techs, right? And she's really delightful person to have on, and we're going to have her on to answer your questions. So be sure and join in on Thursday morning.
Yeah, she's from the Hilton Head, South Carolina, a user group, and she is their go-to person when they have questions, and she does a lot of their presentations. She's
really good.
Very good. Yeah, a lot of information.
Yeah. So give her some complicated questions when you come on Thursday. Give her some tough questions. We want it. Don't give us the tough questions. Give her the tough questions. Bob, how the heck are you? Bob, you posted a great. Do you want to tell me about the video you posted on our Facebook page today? You're muted. Go ahead. You're good.
I shouldn't be muted.
No, you're okay.
You're fine.
You're fine.
A video about taking a ride inside your dishwasher. I didn't make it. I just happened to find it. But it wasted about 20 minutes this morning of my time because it was interesting.
Yeah.
And it's worth taking a look at. If you want to see how your dishwasher actually works, because this had a GoPro inside the dishwasher. It did destroy parts of it, but that's all right. It worked. You got to see how the dishwasher actually works.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, yep, if you got an hour you want. Oh, it's also, he's done time chapters on it. So if you go down into the description, you can see what the wash cycle looks like and what the cleaning cycle, and you can go all through and it'll show you how the plates are cleaned in a dishwasher. Pretty cool.
Guacamole is hard to get off a dish.
Yeah. And Ray, you're becoming famous. Oh my gosh, what a presentation you did for APCUG's conference this weekend.
Well, it was fun. And I think I had mentioned I've gotten more than one inquiry about, Ray, what do I do now? I just bought a new car and it doesn't have a CD player. And yes, times are changing. And I remind people, remember when we had 8-track players that disappeared and cassette players that disappeared? So nothing new, we're evolving. So I gave a little talk about how you can take your existing CD collection and use them in the newer cars today.
Yes, and the great news is, what is the great news you're about to tell us?
Well, I think if you have some time next week, I will put an abbreviated version of that for the Tech for Seniors group. For those that missed it, some of you don't belong to the computer clubs we help with at APCUG. So this way we can get the word out to everybody.
Ah, that is great. Thanks so much for doing that. So that'll be a great show. And the following week, we have Chris and Jim Gould from Geeks on Tour talking about all the changes that are occurring with Google Photos. So that will be the following week. So we have a busy month for you. Lots happening. This week, I just wanted to give you a couple of brief things. We mentioned a little bit early on about the big battle between Roku and Google TV and YouTube TV. So this heated up all week. And basically, we're not talking about YouTube, we're talking about YouTube TV. And Roku, the licensing agreement ran out and Roku did not renew it. So if you are trying, apparently, if you have the existing service, YouTube TV on your Roku device, it will continue to access and be fine. But if you want a new service and you have a Roku device, you can't get YouTube TV, which is, can't those guys get it together? Why can't everyone just get along? I think this is just so annoying because it's a big service. A lot of people have YouTube TV and a lot of people have Roku devices. I have Roku devices and all my TCL TVs. Anyway, just before we go, before we get to Bob's segment, for those of you who saw the Saturday newsletter, some of you probably didn't look right down at the bottom, but I broke rank for a while because I saw this. This video was the most incredible video. It was of this lady who's an expert singer. She obviously is professional, and she was singing to her 3-month-old baby, and she had a really good voice, and she was singing a love song to this baby, and the baby was actually trying to sing with her. I don't know if everyone saw that or played it, but it was just so hard. It was you should play it every morning before you get up and go out. It just would set your day. So it was on the Saturday newsletter. So if you haven't signed up for our newsletter, please do so. It has all the information, all the links to all the shows and everything. So please sign up and make sure you get it. It's free. Comes out twice a week. Bob, are you ready to go?
As soon as you're finished.
Okay. I'll stop talking.
Here is the Avast Security News Roundup for the week ending April 30th, 2021. Patch your Mac against this attack. Mac users are urged to update their system to Big Sur 11.3 as soon as possible in order to patch a vulnerability that allows a malware known as Slayer to bypass all the Apple security measures. including gatekeeper and file quarantine. The problem stems from a logic error in Apple's operating system that misclassifies Schleyer as a safe file. In truth, Schleyer is malicious and it burrows deep into the user's system from where it launches an adware scam. These malware attacks have been active since January, but Apple's newest update patches the vulnerability. Macs have gained popularity in the last few years, although malware still prefers Windows due to its huge market share. Mac is also an attack target, said Avast security evangelist Louis Carones. Users should have their OS and applications updated, as well as having a security solution running to protect them against malware and the rest of the online threats that don't care what device we are using. Read more on Forbes. Emotate victims added to Have I Been Pawned? Per the FBI's request, the Have I Been Pawned website has now imported the email addresses of over 4,324,770 victims of Emotate, called the world's most dangerous malware by Europol. Have I Been Pawned founder Troy Hunt posted on his blog that the FBI approached him about using Have I Been Pawned as a viable means of alerting impacted individuals and companies that their accounts had been affected by Emotate. All impacted HIBP subscribers have been notified. Others can check if their email was involved in any data breach on the Have I Been Pawned website. Introducing the Fourth Amendment is Not for Sale Act. A bill is making its way through U.S. Congress that aims to block two increasingly common law enforcement surveillance tactics: purchasing personal data from Clearview AI and sourcing location data from third-party trackers. Both practices violate terms of the service agreement. The data provided by Clearview AI is comprised of photos and personal information scraped from social media sites. The bill has bipartisan support as well as endorsement by the American Civil Liberties Union, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, Freedom of the Press Foundation, Mozilla, and many other civil rights and technology groups. For more information, see the story on Vice. COVID ushers in new era of cybercrime. This week marked the release of a 2021 COVID Crime Index, a report that looks at the cybercrime trends that have emerged since the pandemic began. COVID-19 has ushered in a new era of cybercrime and online fraud for financial institutions, this report states. Overall, financial institutions detected a 29% rise in cybercrime attacks over the past year, and those attacks were launched at the same time that 51% of the institutions had to shift security strategies to accommodate work-from-home employees. Additionally, IT security, cybercrime fraud, and risk funding have been cut 26% over the past 12 months. The report suggests that the solution to this new era of crime comes down to three key pillars within a company: people, process, and technology. Read more on ZDNet. PlayStation Network down for over an hour. All PlayStation Network's services went down for over an hour this past Tuesday. The total outage affected every category on the PSN status page: account management, gaming, and social. PlayStation Now, PlayStation Video, PlayStation Store, and PlayStation Direct. Staffers at The Verge confirmed that during the downtime, they were unable to download items from the store, play multiplayer games, check leaderboards, nor load the PlayStation app on their phones. The outage appears to have been global. All services have since been restored. Alexa helped save a woman's life after deadly bee stings. The family has an Echo Show, an Alexa device with a screen. Norton's husband used drop-in to initiate a video call through the Alexa Show. Alexa's drop-in feature lets you start a call with a single smart speaker or smart display without anyone needing to answer on the other end. The call just starts and the recipient can hang up when they finish. That instant connection differs it from Alexa's standing calling function, which requires someone to answer on the other end. Thanks to the instant connection, Norton's husband coached their children and a neighbor through turning her on her side, finding the EpiPen and administering it. By that point, she had turned blue and was foaming at the mouth. Thanks to the camera, microphone, and speakers of the Echo Show, he could see and interact with the people helping. Sarah says she carries EpiPens everywhere she goes now, but having an instant coach available through the Echo Show saved her life. Without it, her children and neighbor may not have known what to do and how to do it. The latest Wise Watch 44 firmware is bricking watches. On Wise's forum, an employee stated that the company paused the update due to reports of bricked watches. We're seeing some reports that Wise sent out emails to affected users with instructions to join the Wise app beta to fix watches affected by the botched update. The instructions explicitly state not to remove the watch from the Wise app. You can join the Wise beta in the app by going to Account, About, Beta Program, Add Watch 44. If you have a Wise Watch 44, hold off on doing any updates. According to several reports we've seen on Facebook, Reddit, and Wise's forum, the latest update is bricking at least some Wise Watches 44 models. Wise Watch 47 may be spared because it runs a totally different firmware. Read more on Review Geek. And that wraps up this week's Avast Security News Roundup. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. That was really interesting. I like the drop-in feature. I talk about that in my some of my videos, and that is I gotta talk to you later. I want to get that clip and get that information because that's really interesting, super interesting. All right, Dewey's not here today, but he did send his segment in, and we will share that now.
Good morning, friends. I'm Dewey, and my Tech Talk topic for today is inkjet printers that summer south and photo scanners. In the 20-minute question and answer session after last Monday's Tech for Seniors meeting, a question was asked about printers. If I recall correctly, it was a lady needing a recommendation for an inkjet printer for their southern or southwestern wintering place. I didn't have the opportunity then to jump in with my 2 cents worth, so I'd like to share my thoughts and admittedly strong opinions with you now. I'll confine this part of my presentation to inkjet printers that print with both black and colored ink, which is probably the most common choice for home standalone printers and all-in-ones. Those are the types that can copy and scan. Now, this next point is so important I put it in yellow. From a printer cartridge point of view, it's important to know that there are 2 very different types of inkjet printers. One, those with built-in printheads, which use inkwell type carts, and 2, those without printheads, which use cartridges that have printheads built in. They're sometimes called integrated carts. Snowbirds who have a printer with built-in printheads and inkwell type carts often run into problems because summer heat and non-use can take its toll on the printer's printheads, causing them to dry up and harden. And that ain't fun. On the other hand, snowbirds with an inkjet printer using integrated printheads aren't affected by summer heat and non-use if they remove the carts from the printer and take them back home in a Ziploc bag or a sealed jar. I've been doing this for a dozen years with no problems at all. A couple of related points. When you buy new integrated carts, they come with a plastic clip designed to protect the cartridge heads when the carts aren't in use, including when you take the carts back home in that Ziploc bag and store them in your refrigerator over the summer. Also, if you can manage to have a printer back home that uses the same black and color carts as your Snowbird printer, you can just share the same set of carts between locations. Again, I've done this since 2009 with no problems. To be honest, integrated carts are not without problems, but they're easier to fix and work with and way less expensive to fix than replacing an inkwell type printer because its heads are hopelessly dried up. Integrated cartridges that fail, whether OEM or from an aftermarket supplier, are usually replaced at no charge. By the way, I've used aftermarket remanufactured carts for years with high quality results, even for printing photos. Unfortunately, I need to tell you that it's become more difficult to find inkjet printers and all-in-ones with integrated print heads. In my opinion, it's probably because printer manufacturers make more money selling the more frequently replaced printers with built-in print heads and inkwell type carts. Happily, especially if they're stored down south, of course. Happily, manufacturers like Brother, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Epson, Lexmark, Xerox, and Dell still carry a few models of printers that require carts with integrated print heads. There's another difference between inkwell type carts and integrated carts that with the built-in print heads. Inkwell type carts are pretty much simple containers holding ink. Integrated carts, by comparison, contain sophisticated electrical and electronic circuitry that transfers complex information from your computer or device through terminals in the printer to terminals on the very smart cartridge. The photo at right shows a black ink and a tricolor ink integrated cartridge resting on their respective clips. That's the little black part sticking up. On the back side of each cartridge to the left is the electrical terminal strip that has about 35 terminals that interface with terminals in the printer. Those are the little gold dots you see. The terminals are also used to transmit information about printhead conditions and or problems, ink levels, and other proprietary information. The silver colored rectangular strip at the bottom of each cartridge, that's toward the right, is the cart's printhead. Accessibility, because you can take it out of the printer, allows the heads to be easily cleaned. The quality of printing using integrated printer carts is excellent, essentially the same as a printer with heads. In fact, both John and I have won prizes in photo contests with beautiful glossy photos printed by our inexpensive HP 6900 series printers using carts like the ones you've just seen. The remanufactured carts I use cost about 1/3 the cost of Hewlett-Packard carts and come from LD Products, see the ldproducts.com, in California. Despite occasional problems with their carts, exceptional customer service at LD Products makes up for the problems. Regarding all-in-one printers with scanners, I've never owned one for this reason. Though the printer may be as good as any other standalone printer, the scanner function is simple, basic, and mainly intended for documents and not photographs. I personally prefer the much higher resolution photo scanner that can scan everything in super high quality. I have an old Epson Perfection 4490 flatbed scanner that I use almost daily. Its tasks range from being a high quality photocopier to doing magnificent quality photo, film, and slide digitizing. To demonstrate a photo scanner's capability, here's a photo I just scanned from an old 2" by 2" Ektachrome slide. Remember Ektachrome? That was a long time ago. I snapped this at the 1962 World's Fair in Seattle. I always thought it was a kind of pretty picture. Well, that about does it for my rant on inkjet printers and photo scanners. If you have any questions, leave them in the chat and I'll do my best to address them. Meanwhile, there's a food food fight like dispute going on between Amazon's YouTube TV and Roku that could end up depriving YouTube subscribers like me from accessing it on the Roku streaming devices and Roku TVs. I'll keep you posted next week if it hasn't been resolved. Well, that's my Tech Talk story for today, and I'm sticking with it. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.
Well, thanks, Dewey. Those of you who were watching that, if you looked at the live recording of Dewey speaking, what Dewey used as the backdrop there is a picture of his house. And when you replay this, if you look at the backdrop, you'll see Dewey is on his John Deere riding lawnmower. So next time you have a look at it, play it again, you'll see him there on his, and I've used some of that. I've used that picture occasionally in the on our newsletter. Bob, did you have something we were gonna also, I think I interrupted you again on that one. Do you want to do your next segment?
File Explorer and how it's displayed. There are a couple of ways you can open File Explorer. Simply click on the icon in the taskbar and it opens. Another way to open it, use the Windows key and E for Explorer. And when you hit those two keys, again, File Explorer opens. File Explorer has more than one way in which to display the information to you. It likes to show it to you using quick access. But if you're like me and would rather like to see it in a different format, it's very easy to change it. Click on File, then click on Change Folder and Search Options. That opens up this window. And here, right now, you see it's opening as Quick Access. That's not what I want to see. You have a choice. It can also open up as This PC. So select it, then say Apply, close it down, and the next time you open it, now you get to see it as My PC. Now that doesn't mean the other stuff's disappeared, because right next to My PC, if you click that little arrow, you have a choice. All these things are available to you. Just a neat little trick. By default, it likes to open up in quick access. I prefer to see it as This PC. Your choice, your computer. Stay safe, be free. I hope this helps.
I gotta try that. That's a good idea, Bob. Yeah.
Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. All right. I guess it's Hewie. Are you ready to roll?
I certainly am. And I'm going to carry what Bob showed a little bit further in the second part of my Windows 10 tips and tricks. Some Windows 10 tips and tricks that I presented to a help group recently online. I'm Hewie Poplock. Let me show you some other things about, let me full screen this so you don't have a lot of other things going on. But let's go back, and I just go back to my documents folder. I have, each of these are folders.
Yep.
Right,
Okay. And then I also probably have at the bottom a bunch of files too.
right.
Okay. There's a couple things you can do with this. Number one is you can sort by anything here at the top. Right now it's sorted by name and it's sorted alphabetically. If I click it again, it reverses the order. So it starts with the files and then it starts at Z and goes down. If I click it again, it reverses it. It reverses the sorting. Now, what if I want to, gee, I have something. Oh, it is because I have a, if you'll notice, there's a exclamation point.
Ah, okay, I see it. Oh, see, okay.
And alphabetically, Windows handles an exclamation point before the alphabet and before the numbers. So if I want to force something to the top of my list, I put an exclamation point before the word. You hardly notice it but it puts it at the top of the list. I use these two probably the most of anything. So it all forces it right to the top.
And then it does numbers.
Then numbers and then
and then
alphabet.
alphabet. Okay.
Yep. So the next thing is each of these are sortable. Let's say I want to find the most recent of something. So I go to date modified, and now it's going to do it by date, by the latest, which would be the 19th on down. You can do this in any folder as well. And again, if you click it again, it goes to the oldest. If I go to the top of the list, 2014 is when that particular folder was made. And then by type, so let me show you what I mean here. Let's go into a folder. That's a good one to find here. Let's find the Stug one. Okay, and then let's say virtual meetings, and I've got all of these things here. And notice there's different types. And it tells me some are JPEG files and some are other. I can change my type, and now it puts all the Adobe Acrobat files together, all the Irfan View JPEGs together, and all my PowerPoints together, and then all my Word documents together. Sometimes that helps you find something when you're looking for it.
Sure.
And then I can go back, okay, let's go back to name. And again, we're alphabetical. And so when I come back up to documents and go to the top, it's back alphabetical. Now, there's also some other things that you can do with this. Let me make it so it's not full screen, so I can move it over a little bit. You'll notice here, share view. See where it says view?
Yeah.
Yes.
When I click that, now you can change the look of this and what it's going to do. We're in details right now. This reminds me of the old DOS days, if you go back that far, where that was the way you looked at a folder. Well, there's different ways you can look at your folder. So let's look at all the different ways. You've got medium icons. It'll look like this.
Don't like that.
If we look at content, it looks like this. If we look like this, it's list. It's just all of them. And then you just see a list.
Back up the content.
Sure.
What do you mean by content? I mean, I know what the word content.
It just shows you the name of it and then the date modified, and it's just like this.
Doesn't actually show you what's in the folder, just what the
It does,
folder called.
yeah, it just shows you what the folder. And then if you click on the folder, then it will go back to this because that's the last way I had it.
Okay.
That one. See, it remembers how I've had it. So I can have mixtures of it. So let's look at list. Here's the list, and the large icons have bigger icons. So at different folders, you can have set up different ways. Here's what tiles look like. Then there's small icons and then extra large icons. What's nice about this is if you go to your photos folder, I'm going to go back to details, but let's go to, and you can, so I'm going to click on this PC up here, and it takes me back to this menu. If I go to pictures, district meeting. Okay, there's a lot of pictures there. So with here, those are large icons. If I go to extra large icon, I can actually see all of my pictures without having to open them all up.
You can do what the content of the file is. You can change it as well. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not changing anything. I'm just changing the view of it within the file manager.
Okay.
See,
So that's what I mean.
normally you would see it looking like this.
Mm-hmm.
But if I click on large icons, it's giving me a preview of each of the pictures.
If you had a file that had documents in it, not pictures, could you do the same thing that you would?
Well,
see
let's take a look at
documents?
what we've got here. We'll go back here. We'll go to documents. I'm just trying to think where I might have some articles for blogs. Okay, so we got some things here. Let's see. Just trying to think of one that I might have. Let's see here. Cutting the cord. I got a Word document and a text document. So if I go to extra large icons, it'll show me the pictures like that. But no, the Word document will look like this, and the other will be like this. So it doesn't actually look at the documents, no.
Okay, so you can't see what's actually on the document without pulling it up. Okay.
Yeah, I seem to remember there's somehow you can, but, oh, preview pane. Yeah, okay, let's do one more thing here. Let's go see over here where I am, and I click a preview pane. Now I've got a preview pane over here. Now if I come over and move over here, click on that, I will see it over here.
Oh, that's nice.
And if I go here, it'll have that information.
That's very helpful. It means you don't have to open up everything.
You don't have to open, and I move right here, I can actually make it bigger like
And you can
this.
scroll down and see what it is without having to close it and open up something else.
Right, yeah, so see what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
And how do you
Just
close the preview?
Just come up to the preview pane here and go like that, and it goes away.
Super.
And then you come back to details, and there they are as a list.
I feel like I'm just starting to know Windows, and I've been on it for 15 years.
Yeah,
I understand.
okay, let's, oh, by the way, see this little, I'm way down here in the bottom right-hand corner. If I click
Yes.
there, it minimizes everything.
Oh,
They're still open, but they're minimized.
You're
Okay,
kidding.
so
that little window that you hit did it?
way down here in the far corner.
Oh, a far corner, past that little window or a little
Yeah.
TV screen.
Yep,
Okay, wow.
that minimizes everything. So if I have a folder on this screen, like I got one here,
Mm-hmm.
okay, if I click that, it opens up that folder that I have saved on my desktop.
Right.
It could be a shortcut, but it could be a folder by itself as well. So now what are you saying? I'm not sure what your question is.
My problem was being that I have a folder on the screen that looks like that, and it has documents in it. And when I click on it to open it to get to the document that I want, it only shows in the detail form, it only shows maybe 6. It's an abbreviated look of what it is. And I have to either scroll through it or click on it again to open it wider. And it's not automatically becoming the whole folder to look at.
Is it like this? And let's see, let me move it up here a little
Yes,
bit more.
more or
Is it
less
something
like
like
that.
this? And you
Yes.
have to
Yes,
just try resizing it.
okay.
And again, it's something else to resize. When you're looking at any folder, notice these little, remember I clicked on any of these and you can sort by them.
Right.
But at the end of them, if you move up here, you see the double arrow between each one.
Yes.
So you can only see a little bit of this. If you go here and I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it.
Ah,
Now I can see the whole title.
just like with Excel cell.
Yep, absolutely.
And will it remember that if you go back next time?
Yeah, if I close that,
Very
if I
good
close it,
question.
if I close it and then open it.
That's fantastic.
Yes, it did.
Now, if you go to a different folder, it's going to be whatever that folder was.
Of
Yeah,
course.
you'll have to reconfigure
Yeah.
that folder.
You can right mouse click, say new and folder, and we'll call it Leah, just so you know that I just made it here. Now I've got a folder Leah, and let me move it. I'll just move it over here.
Mhm.
And I can take this and just take it and drop it. And now if I open up the Leah folder, there it is.
Mhm.
Is that what you're saying you can do?
No, what I would do is I would click on the document as if I was going to open it. But for some reason or another, maybe after 2 clicks,
If I double click
on
it, yeah, I double click it and it
opened up.
opens it.
Now, I guess I would have to close it somehow or another. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but I can click on it again and I get just a solid, I get don't have the blue. I just have, it's outlined in black and it's like that.
Yeah.
And then I can add to it another word.
Yeah, it's not highlighted now.
No,
So,
it's
yeah.
not highlighted, and I can put my arrow in there and click on that, and I can begin to add another word to it.
Oh,
The
you can
title.
edit the title.
Yeah,
That's what you're doing.
that's what I'm doing, is editing the
Yeah,
title.
if you just click it and it highlights it like this with a darker blue,
Mhm.
then I could type in something else here and say,
If I've got my arrow
Yes.
at the end of where you are there, at the end of the words, it will just allow me to go in.
but you'll notice, see this little arrow right here?
Yes,
That means it's a shortcut to something else.
yes.
The actual file is not on your desktop, it's somewhere else. And when
Uh-huh.
you click on it, it goes to that folder and opens it up. So if you, anytime you see that it's got that little arrow, if
Mhm.
I delete it, that program's still there. It's still, I can still find it. It's still on my computer. I just don't have a shortcut on my desktop to it. I don't need it. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I don't need that one.
I have a couple on mine that have those arrows.
Yeah. And if you don't want them there anymore, by deleting just the shortcut, you're not deleting the program
Oh, okay.
or access to it. And then also you can sort by on your screen. If you do it, then you can't go back to where you were, but you can sort by name and it'll do them alphabetically over here by size.
Oh,
You can auto arrange them. You can arrange them to a grid so that they're lined up.
wow.
So by right mouse clicking anywhere on your screen in a blank spot and then go to view, you can change these. Right now it's at medium icons. You can make them large icons or small icons. And then I'll go back to medium. And then you can, again, you can sort them by name, size, item type, or date modified, and they'll arrange themselves on your desktop. So there's a lot of things you can do with these things. It's just having somebody show you how to do it.
Yes. And writing notes and remembering, being able to decipher your notes on how to do it.
Yeah. And then do it a few times. Once you do it a few
Yes.
times, then it becomes,
Yeah, it helps.
it helps. And there we go. A few tips to use Windows.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm going to try some of those. That looks pretty cool. All right, we will move on. I have a little something for you. Let's do a share here.
Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors. The new Kindle Fire tablet with Microsoft Office, just released in April of 2021. Let's have a look. Amazon has just released a whole new line of Fire HD tablets. This will include Microsoft Office and also a license on one version for Office 365. Wow, this is something new and such good value. This is crazy good. Let me explain. All right, I want you to look at the Fire HD 10 in this diagram here, and I want you to look at the 10.1 inch display. This is going to go on sale for $149 for the 32 gigabyte version. Wow, and this is going to include a copy of Office. And if you look to the right, you'll see the new HD bundle for $219 is going to include a full license version of Microsoft Office 365. This is an incredible deal. Let's have a look closer at this. Microsoft is launching its Office and OneNote app on Amazon Fire tablets today. Both apps are available in Amazon App Store, and the Office app combining Word, Excel, and PowerPoint into one single tablet app. But this is going to be available on the Fire HD 10 for the $149. Both the Office and OneNote apps will be available on Amazon's App Store in regions where Fire tablets are currently sold. Microsoft says it has timed the release of these apps to coincide with Amazon's new Fire HD 10 tablet. The $149.99 Fire HD has a thinner design, slimmed down bezels, and better specs. And Amazon is also offering a $219 bundle with a 12-month subscription fee to Microsoft 365 in the US, Canada, UK, Germany, and Japan. Now, this display is a bright, fast, zippy, responsive, vibrant 10.1-inch full HD display. Powerful performance thanks to a 3 gigabyte RAM and an octa-core processor. Great for on the go. Enjoy up to 12 hours of reading, browsing the web over Wi-Fi, watching videos, and listening to music from anywhere. Type easily. The all-new made for Amazon Bluetooth keyboard with detachable case lets you comfortably catch up on email or make notes from anywhere, whether there's the couch or the kitchen table. Keep your tablet protected. Opt for the classic case as seen in the picture here. Screen time is now family time. Discover Amazon for Kids. Parents can create child profiles to limit screen time, set educational goals, and manage content with easy-to-use parental controls. Enjoy for free or subscribe to get more. Amazon Kids is free on every Fire tablet, or subscribe to Amazon Kids to access more than 20,000 kid-friendly titles. Now, I'm sure you're all going to race out to purchase one of these devices. It's such an incredible deal. But just a minute, hold your horses. I want you to stop and think for something. First of all, this is a new offer. And if you do go on the Amazon website, make sure you look for the new Fire HD tablets, because there's a lot of older models available. Currently, these are all sold out, but I want you to think about something. Amazon is having their Prime Day in July this year. All these are going to be on sale in a couple of months. So hold your horses and just wait a minute. But I bet you'll see that new Amazon Fire HD with Office 365 offered for $219. I bet you it comes down to about $180. There's going to be some incredible deals. These are really, really good tablets. All right, you know the routine. If you like this video, please click the like. And if you want to see more, just subscribe to the channel. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Seniors.
All right, thanks everyone for coming over on our YouTube side. Ray, are you about ready to go?
Ready as ever.
All right, again, thank you on our YouTube side for coming. We'll be closing the show now for the YouTube.
Cut off the YouTube side
Yep.
before race starts.
Yep, we'll be doing that, and we'll be stopping the live stream, and we will, Ray, take it away.
All right. If 60 is the new 40, we're going to talk about the song 1,000 Stars by Kathy Young and the Innocents. And you've heard me say this before. Early rock and roll was, for the very first time, music not only for teenagers, but by teenagers. And Kathy Young would be a perfect example. She was only 15 years of age when in 1960 she recorded the song 1,000 Stars, went all the way up to number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. Now, at the time of the recording, Kathy was completely unaware that this song actually was a remake. It was originally done by a Queens, New York vocal group called the Rivaliers back in 1954. And on the record that Kathy recorded, the backup vocals were by a Southern California band called the Innocents. Now, after raising a family, Kathy returned to the oldies music circuit in the 1990s, and she was signed to appear at a show in 2002 that I was involved with. Wow, here was my opportunity to have my picture taken with the beautiful Kathy Young. So about a week before the casual show, though, I came down with Bell's palsy. Now, if you're not familiar with it, this is a facial paralysis that affects just one side of the face, but it includes the eye, the mouth muscles, and then loud noises are particularly troubling. Bell's palsy is considered a viral infection, and there's no treatment other than to allow it to run its course, which can be from a few weeks to several months. The show was a huge success, and Kathy Young was terrific as she sang her signature song, as well as several others, to the delight of the crowd of about 250 people. No, I wasn't going to let something like Bell's palsy prevent my picture being taken with Kathy Young, and I gave it my very best smile. Of course, the photo was taken in a time before digital cameras were the norm, and when the film was finally developed for me to see the photo, well, to say I was surprised at how I looked would be an understatement. We live in a time when people, for the most part, are living longer and healthier. If 60 is the new 40, Kathy Young, and her last name is so appropriate, is the proof. So the PBS video clip is from 10 years ago when Kathy was 66 years of age, and the vocal group backing her is from Europe. They call themselves the Earth Angels, and they're from Barcelona, Spain.
All right. It was, I really enjoyed that though. It's a blast from the past, eh?
Yeah, only 15 years old when she first recorded that. Again, music for teenagers by teenagers.
Unbelievable. Hey, it's the top of the hour. I want to thank everyone for coming. It will be moving on shortly to our question and answer period. So we'll see everybody at the same time next week. Look forward to Ray's presentation next week on audio in the car. Don't forget that this week on Thursday, we have Tech for Senior Live. Hewie, Bob, and myself will be having a guest on, Jolyn Bowler, who will be talking about just come and have coffee with us. Ask her some tough questions. She's the techie of all techs. We'll see what she has to say, and we'll have a nice time on Thursday morning. So until next week, we will see everybody again. However, let's open the question and answer period now. If you have anything that you want to talk about, any questions. I'm not sure if we got the watch thing dealt with, if Bob has any further thoughts on that. If you do want to ask a question, if you could please just at the bottom of your screen, you'll see under reactions, you'll see you're able to raise your hand. And since we have pretty much a full house tonight or today, it's hard for me to see all the different screens. So when you click that on and you raise your hand, it puts you up to the top and I can see and answer your questions. Let's see. Let's go with Dieter. I think Dieter was here first. Plus, he's the farthest away. So answer your question. Go ahead, Dieter.
Do you mean
me?
Yeah, Detlef. Okay.
Detlef. Sorry, Detlef.
I came to the States when I was 17. And for 50 years and more, I've been called Detlef, Detler, Dieter, Doug, Dave, Dan, Dallas, and everything in between. So don't feel bad. Incidentally, I tried coming to the Thursday meeting and I still could not get in. I can't find the proper link to it. I don't know why. I click in the newsletter, I click where it says to click, and I can't get there. Instead of taking me somewhere, I just get a picture. I sent in a note. I don't know if obviously nobody's read it because I didn't get an answer on it. But maybe you can take a look at that again, see if I'm missing something.
No, actually, I read that this morning. If I could just hold on a second here. I just want to share my screen. All right. Are you coming in? Do you want to look at the Facebook feed or do you want to look at the YouTube feed?
I'm online.
Wherever you go on Thursday morning, I don't care, either one.
Okay. All right. So I just want to share my screen here and you can see the screen here. Now, one of the things you have to remember on Thursday morning for our live feed, it's not a Zoom meeting, right? It's not a Zoom meeting. We're live broadcasting it. So if you come over to our Facebook page here, you'll see right here on our Facebook, on the left-hand side, you'll see upcoming live videos. And we already have the reminder and everything set for our Monday show or for our Thursday show. So to start the show, you just click on this. Actually, it'll be right in the, if you look right here in the main screen here, this is the show and it'll actually start. it'll start right in the screen here.
Okay.
So this is over on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
And
I looked on YouTube before and on the newsletter, but with this
Right.
here, I can see where it is.
Right. Now, if you look on the, if you go to our website, okay, if you go, this is our website, our Tech for Senior website. Do you see
Yeah.
where on the left-hand side here, it says live stream?
When I click on that, I get a larger version of the picture.
All right, when
don't
I
get a
click
link
on it,
that's underneath.
Yeah,
when I
don't click
start
on,
With
don't click on the picture, click on the link right below it.
click on the link and it will take you right here. And this is to the channel where we'll be on.
Can you go back?
Yeah, we'll go back to that. We'll go back to that. Just a minute here. It's the link right here, right underneath.
Apparently, I don't get the link.
Really?
What? Okay, yeah. What am I looking at right now?
This is the web page.
The web page. Okay.
This is the web page. This is the tech.
Okay. I guess I was looking at the newsletter
Okay.
that comes out.
The link should be there. I don't have the newsletter up, but if you look again, don't click on the actual picture, but click on the actual click underneath there on the actual link. It'll take you right there.
Okay. I guess my problem is that I was trying to get there from the newsletter itself.
Okay.
And there was no underlying link.
Right.
Either under the live stream picture or under the other link.
Also from our website here, if you go on the right-hand side, this gives you our Facebook feed as well. So
I subscribe to that on Facebook.
And you'll see that. So they're both there, and you can watch either one.
Let's hope this Thursday it works.
Yes. Well, we're hoping that everybody. You're not the first person that has had problems, so we'll have to review this. But again, I think everyone's sort of used to coming on with Zoom, and it is not a it's not a Zoom. Yeah. Excuse me, it's not a Zoom meeting. So there you go. So that's how it works, and those are the links.
Okay.
Hopefully that will go ahead.
No. Can I ask another question?
You certainly can.
Okay. Kind of goes in with something that Hewie did a little while ago. When you're in the program and you want to open a folder or make a new folder, you can go down the line, right click, go down the line, click on new, and then you have a chance of opening a new folder. I wasn't able to get that done. It just disappeared about 3 weeks ago. I went online to try and get some help on what to do with it. Ended up going in and messing around with the registry, trying to reset everything back to what it was originally supposed to be going to. That didn't help. I finally ended up yesterday reinstalling Windows, and now I can do it again.
Wow.
Okay, and I kept all of my programs, but this was through a help group at Microsoft, or through Microsoft, that I got there. The problem that I have now is that after having reinstalled Windows 10, now my laptop doesn't recognize my microphone or my speakers. I found a Bluetooth speaker that I use for something else, so I am getting sound, and I put a clip-on camera up here, which has a built-in microphone, so you can hear me, but the built-in microphone or the built-in speakers on the laptop, when I look at it in settings, it says it doesn't recognize any. There aren't any.
Yeah, what you're going to have to do. Yeah, what brand of laptop do you have?
Right.
It's a Dell.
You'll have to go to Dell's and support and look for the model, and then look for downloads, and you're going to have to find the drivers for your particular model.
Do the drivers again? Okay, yeah, it's an Inspiron. So I've downloaded stuff from them before, but you think that will take care of it? That it's the drivers?
It's a driver. I can tell you from experience. I've had it on my Dell laptop where it disappeared. Go to the website, and download the driver for your speaker. And
Super.
for your, it's a package. Once it installs,
Yeah.
everything comes back.
It's there, yeah.
Yep.
See, it's a good thing that like all of you, I have little toys around that, you know, I can hook up and work around to get there, but
Yep.
it's nice when it works the way it's supposed to. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks. And we'll see you on Thursday, eh?
Yes.
Okay, hopefully, yeah, all right, okay. Jeff, let's do Jeff Wilkinson next.
Yeah, hi. I just bought the vacuum, and it's in the process of its third iteration in trying to map. And the issue I'm having is that it goes up on a shag carpet and gets stuck. We have a little throw rug down. And so I blocked that off. But apparently, when I reset the map, it said remap from the beginning. It remembers the old map, and it hits. I put a piece of wood down to block it off, and boy, it's just insisting on trying to get up on that rug. It's crazy. But anyway, I bought it off of Amazon. I think it was, I just looked, the price had gone up, but it was a pretty good deal at $227. And I got it, and I've been playing with it, and it's amazing. It's pretty amazing.
Jeff, it is a Weiss, eh? It is a Weiss vacuum?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You may want to try uninstalling the Wise app and starting from scratch.
Okay.
Right, take it totally off,
Yeah.
reinstall the app, and then
Yeah.
go ahead and
Yeah.
hook up your vacuum again to the Wise app.
Yeah, I'm about running out of my better half's patience with this, so I gotta be careful what I.
Was it? What type of vacuum, Jeff?
It's the Wise robot, iRobot, or yeah, iRobot, I think.
Now, there's also a reset on the vacuum itself, and you can reset the vacuum. And once you reset the vacuum, then of course it starts from scratch.
Right. The other issue I had was finding a location for the docking station. You know, if you don't have the adequate clearance, apparently, you've got to have that and more. It just gets lost. It gets totally messed up. So.
Yeah, mine. I'm lucky. I have. There's a little built-in desk in the kitchen, and underneath it is just the perfect place because I'm up against the back wall, so that the station stays. And
Right.
but if
Well,
you don't have that, and it has to be someplace in the middle, and you don't have room clearance on both sides, then yeah, you could run into a problem.
Well, I thought I had the perfect place. It parked under an armoire, you know, so it went right under there like its own little garage. But the legs apparently fouled it up. So.
And you know for sure that it's got memory to it, because I had one that it didn't have memory and it just kept doing the same old routine over and over again. It would have to go through the whole house. And then
Yeah, you could see. Well, I guess I don't know if you can see it, but
Hold it right in front of your face, then we can see it.
there it is. So there's the
Okay,
memory
got it.
map that it's in the process of doing it right now.
Yep.
But it's interesting that I reset the map and it goes back to try and go back on that rug that I had blocked off.
I would just clear it and start it over again.
Well, that's what I thought I did, but it's not doing it. Anyway, I'll keep playing with it, but it's kind of fun.
Okay, thank you. Robert, go ahead.
I got a Dell and I just took it up. Jeff there, we have a class here for computers that need to be fixed, and they took it and they got it restarted. It hasn't been used since 2019. And I took it up there and I had plugged it in and it had fully charged. And since I've taken it up there and everything was downloaded into it, I got a problem with it charging. It won't recharge anymore. And I'm trying to find out why it won't charge. I went to battery on it. I went to online to find out how come it won't charge. Any reason why it won't charge back up to 100? That's a Dell, and that's a Dell laptop.
It's the battery.
Batteries wear out after 2 to 3 years.
Especially if you don't use them and they totally discharge, and then you try to charge them again, you're going to lose quite a bit of battery capacity.
And so is there any way to get to replace those batteries or?
Yeah, you can replace the battery. That one should still, I don't know of any laptops where you can't replace a battery.
Okay.
Robert, is it a removable battery or do you have to take the thing apart?
Yes, I found out this morning that I opened up these two little areas here and it fell
Right.
and smashed my foot.
Dell
So,
will
yeah.
be happy
Yep.
to sell you one,
Pardon?
and you may find a third-party source. Every rechargeable battery you have in your house should be discharged every 30 to 60 days and then totally recharged. All rechargeable batteries have memory, even the newer ones, better memory in the newer ones, but you cannot let any battery self-drain. It will die. And they all drain a little bit, even if they're sitting on a shelf. So every flashlight, every emergency device you have needs to be used every 30 days and then recharged for 4 to 8 hours.
Okay.
It's battery technology. It's the chemistry inside the battery. And so far, nobody's gotten around that. Different battery chemistries have different lives, but they all have some degree of this effect.
Hold on a minute. Okay,
One
thank
thing,
you.
Robert, just one thing that I would encourage you is if you do go online and you're looking, there are a lot of people selling used batteries on the internet, right? And you will
Yeah.
find a plethora of batteries that people want to sell you. And a lot of these are, they say they're reconditioned batteries, but all as they do is discharge, like Joel was saying, they discharge them and put them back on. And it really, you still have a real old battery. So all as I'm saying is you probably can reasonably expect to pay around $100, for a battery. And I'm sure Dell will probably want a little bit more. What is it? It's batteries. What's the place?
Battery Plus.
Battery Plus. Well, they're a good place. You can buy batteries for them, but don't buy a $10 recycled battery for it. It won't. If it's too good to be true, it is too good, right? You don't want. Reasonably, you're going to have to pay around $100, and then you'll get a reasonable battery for it. And it's good news that you can actually take the battery out. Now, the other thing that you can do is if you don't need your laptop, we used to do this in the tech. If you don't use it as a laptop, take the battery out, and then the power will bypass and it'll work just fine. All right. As long as you have the battery in, the power is going through the battery to power the computer, and it won't work very well. But if you don't need it as a laptop, take the battery out, plug it in, and it'll work just fine. All right. Because you don't need a battery if you're not going to use it as a laptop, right?
Right. Okay.
All right.
I'll ask Jeff Wilkinson because he's runs our class here.
Yeah.
And I'll see if he's got some ideas on batteries or if we've got any laying around up there in the classroom.
All right.
I actually have one, Bob, of a laptop, a Dell laptop I just scrapped. So
there you go. You got one for free. Lucky you.
See? One of the advantages of coming to Tech for Seniors.
Exactly.
Thank you.
There you go. Joel, do you have a question?
Yes, different question from the wise. Based in large part on Bob's suggestion that I get away from Yahoo Mail and a news story that Verizon is selling that division, so there will be less support. So I will go over to something like Gmail. That means I have to contact 100 to 200 people and pray that they update their files. Is there any sort of semi-automated forwarding service so that I can put both my old email account and my new email account into a service, and they would forward emails from my old to my new, so that I do not drop or miss items that are being sent to my old account? Am I at all clear?
So Joel, the first thing is I'm sure Yahoo has a forwarding service so that you could either set it up in Yahoo to have and just have all your mail forwarded to your Gmail account. That's one way of doing it.
Good place to start.
Good place to start. Just have it forwarded on, and then it'll just always come into your Gmail. Gmail will do that for you as well. If you go into the Gmail settings, it will actually go and it will pick off your old email from your server. So Gmail will do that as well. So you have two ways of, you can either do a push or a pull. All right, and that's
This is what I'm trying to learn.
Yep, you can do it either way, and that's the easiest way to do it. And so you'll always get, so you don't have to go and check all the time. So those are two ways that you can do that. I find that most of the people, once you get doing this, and you at the bottom you put in your signature block you put your new email address and say this is what we're doing. Most people get used to that pretty darn quick. And the ones that don't are usually the spammers, and that's great because then you don't have any of those blasted old emails that you get all the time. So that's good. You got rid of those people, but it takes probably 3 months to get converted.
You've helped me learn that there are forwarding settings, and you're saying that there should be forwarding settings in both Yahoo and Gmail. I now have to do a little bit of learning. Thank you.
All right.
Ron, there was a question in the chat box. Let's see where to go here. From Bob Baxter, is there a good source for info for setting up a live streaming for a church service?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
If you go to YouTube, there's all kinds of videos that show you how different churches are doing it, and they do go in. Because when I was looking to get some suggestions for ideas on doing a presentation on how to use Zoom, a lot of them were Zoom meetings and tutorials from churches and how they were doing it. So there's a lot of videos on it.
A lot of videos out there. Now, the other one is to use StreamYard. I mean, StreamYard is a great example of how you can do that for a church service. And we use StreamYard for our Tech for Senior live on Thursday. So, and it's free. So you can use, so you might want to look at some videos on StreamYard as well. But like Hewie said, there's a lot of YouTube videos on how to run church services, because that's a common application. Did we miss, Hewie, did you have a look at the chat? Did we miss any questions in the chat, or did that sort of pick them all up?
Jim Copeland said, always fan your paper before placing it in the paper tray of your inkjet printer. This will help loading your paper into the printer tremendously. That's a good idea, a good suggestion.
I have a comment I'd like to make.
Go ahead.
Sure.
About printers. Whether it's laser or it's inkjet, never turn the thing off.
Right.
A lot of people do not realize that. Use it, turn the printer off and leave it. It sleeps, it rehabilitates itself, and it's up and running when you're ready for it.
There was a question about what does bricking mean for your computer. Well, I use that in one of my videos I made, and I got all sorts of comments. People don't know what bricking is. And that's
it's exactly what it is. It bricks it. It turns it into a block of nothingness.
That's right. It's broken. It's broken.
Can I ask a question?
Go
There's
ahead.
an example in the chat room.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Well, I got two. One for Joel. I don't know if you use Microsoft Outlook or not, but most email services have an out-of-office reply thing for you to use.
Right.
And if you put on, instead of using out-of-office, you can use out-of-office reply to put a message on there to change your email to the new email address. And everyone who sends you an email to that old email address will get that out-of-office reply to change it back to the new email address.
I don't know if Yahoo has an out-of-office. I don't use it, so I've never used Yahoo email. I don't know if it has an out-of, but it probably would, eh?
The other question I have for you, Ron, is how do you float when you're giving a video?
Sorry, what was the question?
You're floating around in the video. When you're presenting a video, okay, you're actually there floating around talking on top of the video. What program do you use to do that?
Hey, that's a secret. That's my signature, the way I'm making videos now. That's in fact I have a new e-bike I'm running around, and I've got 3 cameras mounted on it. So some of the last ones you've seen, you'll see me actually doing the presentation with the video, with movement in the back. It's through the video, it's through a green screen and video editing. I use a software called Camtasia, although you can use many different video editing software. I mean, the one I use is called Camtasia. You record the speaking part as with a green screen behind me, and then I can take out the background, so there's just me as a picture, and then I overlay that into the program, to the recording I have. So it's through the video editing that you do that. I like it because I think it's more personable. You have you see the person doing the presentation, and you can put some inflection in, and you can sort of make it a little more interesting. I mean, when you're making videos, the whole thing is to keep people interested and captivated. So more on this in the future as I crash around on my e-bike and do camera work and try and make this better. So, but that's how I do it.
That's very cool.
Yeah, thanks.
Dorothy,
All right, sorry?
Dorothy has her hand up.
Dorothy, go ahead. You're muted, Dorothy.
I have a question for Herman in Germany. What town are you in?
Yes.
I'm muted, so okay. Dorothy, yes. It's the town of Lütjenburg in Schleswig-Holstein.
Danke. Auf Wiedersehen.
Sorry?
There you go. Detlef, what town are you in? You aren't in the same town, are you?
No, he's a little bit north of me. If he's in Schleswig-Holstein, I'm in Berlin.
Oh, okay.
Detlef is in Berlin. I see.
Ja,
oh.
There you go.
Deswegen so ein guter deutscher Name.
Yeah, Detlef, yeah. Yeah.
Any more questions?
So
Listen.
next week we'll maybe do the whole show in German.
Yeah.
Okay. Before I change yet. Yeah.
A long time since
But Masa, did I get your question right? Did you understand the name of the town?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Or you could do it in Pig Latin.
All right. One last question. Do we have anything else before we head out? We have already got, we're almost a few minutes over now. Does anyone else have any questions before we go? All right. No questions. Thanks everyone for coming. I thought it was a great show today. We will see everybody. Come and join us for coffee on Thursday. Otherwise, we will see you next Monday, same time, same place with the same gang. And have a great week. We'll see you in about a week's time. Bye now.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.